What's the deal, my people? You know what it is, Don Tony Teflon. I'm back at you, another one, and Shogun is the shiznick. If you have not watched this show, I do not know what you're doing. This is the type show that you buy the subscription service for. It is that good. We're going to break down episode 2, then I will give you all of what I think is going on. The second episode begins with a look back in the time at the deathbed of the Taiko. All the powerful warlords have gathered to pay their respects to the man who united all of Japan. The Taiko says his goodbyes to his young son as his mother looks on at all the usurpers that are bound to pop up and try to take over Japan once he passes. Toranaga is asked for a private audience during which the Taiko explains his plans to give him the regency, or at least he tells him he's going to give him the regency so he could rule by himself, but he says that would only be a way for their enemies to unite and try to usurp this throne, which he says is exactly right. Seems like they're mad cool and that they spent mad years fighting together. The Taiko then explains his plan to form a Council of Regents. He chooses 5 rival warlords, including Toranaga, who will rule together until his son comes of age. Now, the reason why he's doing it is because he's trying to teach Toranaga that power comes with a lot of consequences, and this is not just a promise, but this is also a threat, and he knows that people will try to usurp the throne and that there will be mad blood spilled. Back in present-day Osaka, the leader of the Jesuits' mission, Father Dell, considers the threat that Blackthorn poses to the Catholics in Japan. Blackthorn's journal contains proof of piracy, enough to warrant his death, but Father Alvito, the young translator, warns that if they expose Blackthorn's crimes to Japan, their own secrets may be revealed also. The priests decide to hold on to their secrets, and Alvito journeys to the castle to translate for Blackthorn. In Osaka Castle, Toranaga is about to be ousted as his role of the Council of Regents when he meets with Blackthorn. Blackthorn's knowledge as the first Englishman in Japan presents Toranaga with a new opportunity. But in the middle of their first interview, Ishido, Toranaga's chief rival, interrupts, and I don't like this dude at all. I can't stand this man. I hope he gets beheaded. But under the gaze of Ishido, Toranaga orders Blackthorn taken to prison, and he's not doing this because he doesn't like him. He's actually doing it for safekeeping because he knows that this dude wants this man dead, but he has a plan to use him later. After this, we get to learn a little bit more about Mariko. Now, I think she's a beautiful woman. I think she's a great actress, and I'm willing to learn anything I can learn about this woman. But we also see that she's married to a violent, possessive husband, Bunero, who seems to be jealous, envious, just resentful of his wife and of all the power that she has and everything else, when he should just be big upping her and helping her along the way and everything else, and just, you know, happy that she's able to make the inroads she's able to make, especially when you're dealing with a society that is just male dominated. But her as an interpreter, a trusted interpreter, you know, he just feels like he's threatened about this whole situation with her, and I just don't understand why he would feel that way about this woman. He should just be loving on this woman. Later on, Toranaga asks for Mariko to come to him. She does, and he asks for her perspective on Blackthorn. Now, she says that she's kind of suspect on this dude just because of what he means to her Catholic faith, but she does see value in this man. Now, as the council moves to impeach Toranaga, Blackthorn can be used to sow division between these regents so that they cannot fulfill their plan of impeachment. Now, elsewhere in the Osaka castle, Ishido goes about his day as the protector of the castle, and he's just bored about this whole lifestyle, all this politics. He just wants to go to the days of glory, the days of just going out there and fighting, but now he's just stuck doing all these politics and he can't take it. And it's at this time in a meeting with the Council of Regents that we get to see Toranaga's plan actually come to fruition. When Ishido calls for the vote of impeachment on Toranaga, the Christian regents demand Blackthorn's execution before they vote. Ishido takes this problem to his old friend, and although his friend does pledge to Toranaga, his loyalty is for sale. As the $1 Million Man would say, everybody has a price, and he does form a plan to use Blackthorn and his weapons to help Ishido. Now, meanwhile, Vieira, the captain of the Portuguese trading vessel, the Black Ship, asks Alvido to appeal to Toranaga for their departure papers. Alvido knows Toranaga cannot be rushed to leave to meet with Mariko. In prison, Blackthorn meets with Domingo, an elderly friar who helps orient him to his new lands. Blackthorn learns about the Black Ship and the secret Portuguese base filled with Japanese ronin. Before Blackthorn can use this information, they grab Blackthorn up and march him out for execution. And while they're marching him out for execution, just like when it seems like all of Blackthorn's luck is up, we see an elderly man on the road, and they stop and act like they're going to help him, and it turns out that it's a bandit attack, but not a real bandit attack. It's a staged one, just so they can rescue Blackthorn. Blackthorn is then returned to Toranaga, and this is just a cover-up that he's just trying to appear like he's loyal to Toranaga, even though this dude has a secret deal with Oshido. And I'm not saying his name because I've butchered so many names, I don't want to butcher anymore. Now, while he was locked up, Blackthorn was told that he didn't know how to play these games. Like, he didn't know how to play the Game of Thrones and everything. And right now, we see that Blackthorn goes and shoots his shot because he exposes the Portuguese secrets to Toranaga, drops dime on everything that the Portuguese are doing, all about the secret bases and how the Catholic people are here, just trying to put Catholic rulers in their stead so that they can basically control all these rulers and have them for puppets for themselves. And Toranaga is not happy when he hears all this. Doesn't really believe it in the beginning, but then he starts to come along with this whole situation and starts to believe that this man is actually telling the truth. Blackthorn also draws a map and shows him exactly what the world actually looks like, that the world is actually round, and how they're able to sail across, and how they were able to come from England all the way over to Japan, and how Portugal blocks it, and how Spain and Portugal split the world into two sides, and any land that is not Catholic, they get to rule over it and they get to keep it, and that no sovereign country exists. They are just vassals of these two major places. And Toranaga is not happy when he hears this. After he believes this whole situation, he then takes Blackthorn under his protection and says he has to rock with him in his house just so he can understand what's going on and protect him and start thinking about a plan. And it's when inside of this house, and after being greeted and he's inside the house and hanging out with all of them, I think Blackthorn starts to learn a new appreciation for the Japanese culture and the Japanese people themselves. He used to just call them a savage. They would call him a savage. But when he's inside the house in the samurai armor, you could tell that the way he looks at it, the way that he sees it, that there's something going on with him in this armor. There's no doubt about that. You know, I don't know. I've never seen it before, but something going on about that. He's definitely giving in to the culture. I could see him in a later episode maybe even marrying a Japanese woman and just becoming like a Japanese full-blooded, maybe even training to become some type of samurai when this is all said and done. Again, I don't know what's going to happen. I haven't read the books or seen the episodes from the previous show. This is just what I'm thinking about. I could have happened from what I'm seeing, but hey, I could be wrong. I don't know. With the Black Ship stuck in Osaka and Blackthorn exposing the Catholic secrets, Dell offers to solve this problem. But this episode concludes what I think is a great conclusion, and that is a shinobi attack. And while this shinobi, female shinobi I should say, is going through and wiping the floor with everybody that she's getting in front of, just hacking them all up, everyone thinks that she's out there to kill the Lord. Nope, she was sent there strictly to kill Blackthorn. Someone knows about Blackthorn and the knowledge that Blackthorn has, and they wanted him dead. And when you see her die, you see her laying inside of a sand that looks like the same type of ground that Blackthorn used to tell him about the world. And I don't think that's coincidence whatsoever. That's how the episode ends. I thought it was a great episode. I think it's a great series. I think that you should subscribe to this channel, like this video, and tell me what you think about it in the comment section. I'll be doing a live stream this week about episode 3, what I think is going to happen. It's a call-in live stream, and I hope that you're there. And if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, spread this across the realm, and of course subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.